Hello everyone, you may have recently heard about Vlad. Vlad is a forked version of Automatic1111. What does it mean? It means that it's a modified version of the Automatic1111 Stable Diffusion. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Why I'm talking about Vlad? Many Mac users are struggling to run their Stable Diffusion locally because the performance is not the best and it's very slow. But Vlad, this modified version of Automatic1111, seems promising a better performance with respect to the previous Automatic1111, at least for Windows users. Indeed, Stable Diffusion has not been fully optimized for Mac users. That is why many Mac users, including me, have decided to use other alternatives to the local installation, like for example Colab or RunPod, which give you access to an external and more powerful GPU. So instead of spending money on Colab or RunPod, obviously we would like to be able to run Stable Diffusion locally. And if it is true that Vlad is a good option, then why not trying? So during this tutorial I want to walk you through the installation of Vlad on your machine locally, and I want to compare Vlad to Automatic1111. Before going on, I would like to clarify that this is a really initial video. There will be a lot of improvements because a lot of Mac users are facing a lot of issues, me included, during the installation of Vlad Stable Diffusion on their Mac, and they are also facing issues when generating images. So just to clarify, that Vlad is improving the code for Mac users as well on an ongoing basis. So if you have any issues which we are not discussing during this installation, please have a look at the GitHub page. I'm going to share the link with you and see if you can find the solution there. Otherwise, you can leave a comment under the video. I'm more than happy to solve the issue together. So the first thing we want to do to install Vlad on our machine locally, we want to create a folder like we did for Automatic1111. I'm going to create this folder on my desktop. I have already here, a folder Vlad because I did this before, but I'm going to do everything again for this tutorial. So I'm going to create this folder on my desktop, but feel free to create it wherever you want, on your documents, and whichever folder. And feel free to name the folder with any name. I'm going to call it Vlad test. And then I'm going to open the terminal. I'm going to use Warp. If you know me, you know I love Warp, but feel free to use the default terminal on your computer. And you can access that, just type in terminal here on the search bar. Cool. So once you are in your terminal, this is the main interface. What we have to do, we see where we are. The command to see where we are in our computer is ls. I'm obviously in the wrong folder because I want to be in the Vlad test folder. And here I'm in the desktop Vlad Automatic, which is the folder I created before. To go back, I can type cd space ... and press enter if we want to go back on one folder. If we want to go back two folders, / other two dots and press enter. Now let's check where we are again, ls, and we can see I'm on my desktop here. Cool. What I want to do, I want to go into this Vlad test folder. So to do that, I press cd space Vlad test and press enter. Now in this folder we want to clone the files from the Vlad GitHub repo, which is this one. The files are this one, you can see here. Yeah? So to do this, we need to press code here, and then we copy this link here by clicking this button. Then we go back into our terminal and we type git clone and we paste the link we just copied and press enter. Now a download will start, it doesn't take long. And once done, If we type ls, we see that there is an automatic folder inside our Vlad test folder. And we can double check that by going in the folder we created. And we will see that there is this automatic folder, which wasn't that before, right? And if we click inside that, you will see all of the files that we downloaded from the GitHub repo. Cool, here you have different files. I would say that the most important for us is this webui.sh, which allows us to launch Stable Diffusion. Another important file is this requirements text file, which contains all of the requirements, libraries, tools we need to run Stable Diffusion and to generate images. So we don't have to run this in reality because this is included, it's linked already inside the webui.sh file. But just wanted to mention that is important. So if you are curious about the different requirements we need, you can just open this file and you will see here all of the different libraries. Okay, cool. Now we go back to our terminal and we run this webui file and let's see what happened. Obviously, I ran it already, but I need to first dive into Automatic because obviously I'm in the wrong folder. So cd automatic. Now, if I press ls, I will see all of the files included inside the Automatic folder. And here you can see, here you have the webui.sh. So now we can run it. It's going to create a Python environment called venv. And I'm going to stop this installation here because I can see already that there is an error. You can stop the installation by typing Ctrl+C on your Mac. So the issue here is my Python version. So in reality, I have Python 3.10. And for some reason, when I launch this webui.sh file, Python is downgraded to 3.9.7, and I already know because I ran it previously that if this installation process was going on, it would have not worked and I would have had an issue. And the error I was getting before, I'm gonna show you because I did it here, this is what I ran before, is this one, illegal hardware instruction for this file. And the problem is exactly this one, that Python has been downgraded, even if I didn't want it to be. And it's probably because of some setting inside this webui.sh. So what I can do, I know and I remember that when I was running Automatic1111, everything was fine. So what I did, I went into the environment created within the Automatic1111 and I checked my Python version. Let's do it together. So I have Automatic1111 into my desktop. So let's go back to my desktop. And then I go into Stable Diffusion, WebUI, and I activate the environment within this folder. I can activate the venv environment, type in source, venv bin activate. And here you will see that has changed from only base to base and venv. Now, if I type Python version like this, you can see I have Python 3.10. If I go back, you see here it was activating, where is it? I lost it. Yeah, here it was activating this 3.97. And you will see that also in this case, another venv environment was created. So if I go, let me see where I am here now. So if I go here and I activate the environment, and I press Python version, now it's 3.9, but I want 3.10. So how can I fix that? What I did, I don't know if there is a better solution. If you have it, please let me know. I'm happy to learn new things all the time. I just copied the venv folder from the old Automatic1111 to my actual folder. What do I mean? So if I go into Stable Diffusion WebUI, you can see I have here, somewhere here, the venv folder. If I go into my Vlad test, which I just downloaded, I have another BAM. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste the folder from Stable Diffusion Web UI Automatic1111 to this Vlad Automatic Stable Diffusion. So I will do copy and paste, Command C, Command V, and here is gonna tell me, look, you are going to replace it if you actually copied it. I want to replace it, so that's fine. Now, if you don't have the BAM folder from Automatic1111, what you can do, or you create a new environment, or you run Automatic1111, taking it from the GitHub repo, which is this one here. So you need to copy, git clone this inside your folder, exactly the same step we did now. And then when you run the webui.sh, it will create a new environment with these characteristics we just seen. Okay, this is copied. Now I go back to my terminal in here, which is where we were before. And now if we go into the new environment inside the Vlad Automatic folder, we should now have 3.10. Let's check that. So let's see where we are. We are inside the Vlad test automatic folder. We now activate the environment using the new BAM bin activate. And then if we check for the version of Python, again, it gives us 3.10, which is amazing. Now let's run the webui.sh again, and let's see if we still have the same issue. It seems now it's keeping this 3.10 here, as you can see. Then here you have a warning, which is storage reports CUDA not available. This is completely normal because we are using a Mac, right? And CUDA is not available for Mac. Another warning that can come up is Xformers not activated, and for the same reason, no worries because you're using a Mac. A Mac doesn't support NVIDIA GPU, and Xformers is just for Windows or anyway computer supporting NVIDIA GPUs. Now, I'm not gonna wait for this to run because I did it already, so I'm going to stop it. And I'm gonna show you the code I got before when I was installing it for the first time. So I've got another warning here, which is package ROM version accelerate required, blah, blah, blah. No worries, as you can see, after all of these warnings, the terminal is anyway installing the right package. So that's completely fine. And then, here, exactly, here we have non-module Xformers, and as I said before, this is not relevant for us. And then we get finally this URL. So let's click on the URL. And finally we get this stable diffusion, Vlad stable diffusion. As you can see here, this sampling method, the default sampling method is unipc, which doesn't work very well, actually doesn't work at all. So if I type something here, a prompt like a woman sitting on a chair, and I press generate, it will give me an error and it will push me out from stable diffusion. So I'm not gonna do that now. You can try if you want, and to reopen the stable diffusion, you just need to run the WebUI file again. What you have to do for not having this error is simply to change the sampling method to something else, which can be DDIM, DPM, whichever you want. I'm going to choose the first one, which usually works very well. Another change I'm going to make, I'm going into settings, I'm going into CUDA settings, and I'm going to check this here. Enable upcast sampling usually produces similar results to no half with better performance while using less memory. So ideally it should give you a better performance. Let's go back to the first tab, which is from text to image, and now let's press generate. If we go into the terminal, we can see the progress bar. So we actually see that Stable Diffusion is running something, it's not just being dumped and not doing anything. And here we can see that it's already running something. So now I just made a very simple prompt just to see if it was actually working, right? And that's good. Now what I want to see is to compare how much time does it take to generate an image with Vlad and generate an image with Automatic1111. I want to compare them, and I want to see if actually Vlad takes less time than the original Automatic1111. Let's do that. So I already ran this very simple prompt, and we can see here from the the terminal how much it took, which is 35 seconds. I'm running this on a MacBook Air, and usually it's very slow, but it's also true that I'm just using 10 sampling steps, which shouldn't really take any time, right? Okay, now I want to also run exactly the same on Automatic1111. However, I want to use exactly the same model, which is model checkpoint. So I've changed the model on top here. It was another one before, it was version 1.5 pruned IMA only, and I changed it to this model checkpoint. And then considering exactly these settings, I'm going to run the same on Automatic1111. And let's compare the timing. Obviously, there are a lot of things impacting the generation, which is internet speed, other than settings, obviously. How many things I have open on my computer as well. So what I did, like for now, I'm just gonna run just one test, but just to let you know, I run more tests and I'm gonna give you an average comparison between the two. It's still running and it's already 1 minute and 20. This is for showing my friends with a more powerful Mac how it can be with an M1, and it's not amazing. That's why I'm using Colab all the time. But yeah, this seems to be completed and it took 1 minute and 38 seconds. And we have this image, which obviously is nothing because we are just trying simple prompts and quick settings for making a comparison. Okay, cool. So 1 minute and 40. Let's close this now and let's open Automatic1111. So I need to go into my Stable Diffusion Automatic1111 folder, which is on my desktop. So I need to go back. And here it is. So I'll dive quickly into this and then I'm not gonna change the environment. It's completely fine. And I'm gonna run the web UI. Okay, I'm going to open it. And here I have this exactly the same model checkpoint. I'm going to write a woman sitting on a chair, exactly the same. Sampling step needs to be 10. The width and the height are exactly the same. CFG scale is exactly the same. I'm going to press generate and let's see what happens. And here you go, it's done. Let's see on the terminal, it seems that it took 30 seconds, actually even less. So is it actually true that this Vlad Stable Diffusion is improving the performance? Maybe for Windows, right? So to conclude, to wrap up everything, I installed Vlad Stable Diffusion. I have already installed Automatic1111 and I wanted to compare the two, right? Because I was told that Vlad was way quicker, and it's probably true for Windows or Linux users, but is it actually true for Mac users? And from this test I made, at the moment, this is not true. Using the same model, using the same settings, I'm having that Automatic1111 is quicker in generating an image. It's taking 30 seconds on average compared to Vlad Stable Diffusion, which is taking around 1 minute and 20, 1 minute 30. That's the average of all the images I generated so far. So as I said before, Vlad is improving the code for Mac users, so it's on top of it. If you face different issues, if you cannot run, if you anything you find that is not working very well, if you can write in the GitHub repo under the issues tab, that would be amazing, because we can all help each other to understand what is not going on, how to fix warnings, how to fix errors, and so on and so forth. And that's it for today. I hope that this was useful and see you at the next video. Bye!